I mean, I'm the subject of 112 subpoenas, never having done a damn thing wrong in my life, never crossing a line, being a perfect role model, being a perfect model citizen, no laptops from hell, nothing. And they came after me like I was a dog. They tried to impeach my father 2 times. You know, they went after him for a Russia hoax that did not exist, that was paid for by Hillary Clinton. The FBI and the DOJ spied on my father's campaign. They deplatformed him. They weaponized every attorney general and every district attorney around the country. They indicted him 91 times, 34 times in a bogus trial in New York City. They posted his mugshot. He's the most recognizable person in the world. They posted his mugshot, even though they didn't need to. It totally backfired on him. They gagged him over and over and over. They raided his home. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They tried to get him divorced. They tried to separate our family. They tried to go after our employees. Aside from weaponizing government, Rob, then they tried to kill my father not once, but twice.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it for them.
Yeah.
We are so outside the world of easily provable lies. I don't know what you want to call them. Eric Trump said Jack Smith planted the manila folders at Mar-a-Lago in the classified. He wasn't even appointed yet. When they, it's just, you know, Trump said that Biden sent the FBI in to infiltrate January 6th when he wasn't president. I mean, it's not even. It's not just like, oh, the facts are different than when in a court of law. These are just easily disprovable lies, right?
They are. And what's interesting, I just interviewed a political psychiatrist, a thing I didn't know existed, but does. And Dr. Tamarius is someone who specializes in this sort of thing, who says, you know, facts just aren't the place you have to start in trying to persuade people that they're wrong. You have to make an emotional connection with them. You have to collaborate with them. Get them to say, gee, that's an interesting position you're taking. Could you show me what you're basing it on? And would you mind if I did some research and tried to show you some? And so let's work on this together. And I don't know if it'll work because people don't have any research that will support them, but maybe they will come to realize that there is nothing supporting their position and that there's plenty supporting the position of the opposite point of view.
Yeah.
Saying that Biden sent in the FBI when Donald Trump was, in fact, the president on January 6th, that's ridiculous.
Right. Well, and also someone else made the point that he would have been sending them in to stop his own certification of his own victory. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not waste your considerable brain power.
Don't break your brain. Yeah. No.
I was saying earlier, Jill, it's amazing that it falls to a Trump-appointed judge to do a better job than the mainstream media in saying what Trump is saying is happening in Portland or Chicago is detached from reality. It is not what's happening. I mean, can you in fact invoke the Insurrection Act for, I don't know, inflatable frogs? Like, I don't...
You know, the inflatable frogs have come to Chicago now. We are adopting what is being done in Portland. But, you know, you made an interesting point because the Portland judge is a Trump appointee and made a very good ruling about, look, I can take judicial notice of the facts on the ground. It's obvious that there's nothing going on here, that it's very peaceful. Whereas the judge who is not a Trump appointee in Chicago, who's a Biden appointee, said, well, I'm not going to stop the troops from being here. I won't let you deploy them. She did go that far. She said, can't deploy them, but they're already here, so they're going to be here, which I think was a mistake because it was obvious that they were wrong to be here. It's also obvious that ICE agents are behaving abominably here. The violence from them is unbelievable. I'm sure everyone listening has seen the video of the pastor who was shot in the face with a pepper ball, and of all the other things that are going on. They're accusing one woman of ramming their car when in fact the evidence seems to be that they rammed her car, and they're causing the violence. It's not the violence of protesters. I think we're going to have a huge event this Saturday.
Yeah,
I mean,
we are too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be, I hope that we double the number from the last no King's Day.
Yeah.
We need
because
to
they keep
show
threatening
that
us.
We're not having this.
Yeah, they keep threatening and bullying us. I think it's going to make it, even bigger. We've gotten to the point of the interview where I think I made you say fact pattern in your Chicago accent. So I'm happy. But can I say, talking to you from L.A., Joe, as I recall, the last time the Insurrection Act was enacted was George H.W. Bush during the L.A. riots. But that's what I'm saying. The media should do a better job. But at least this judge said this is not real. Why don't people push back when J.D. Vance goes on TV and says it's out of control and only Trump can stop it? Just go, that is not what's happening in Portland or Chicago.
I think, unfortunately, all the major networks have failed in this. They have not pushed back adequately. They are allowing people to say things that are blatantly untrue, that are visible to anybody that they are untrue. The Insurrection Act is when things are so out of control that there's an actual armed insurrection against the federal government. That's not what's happening. We have peaceful protests saying we don't like what you are doing, grabbing people off the street, including U.S. citizens. I mean, the raid in Chicago on that 5-story apartment building, they pulled everyone out. They broke down doors. They trashed the apartments while people were outside. They took naked people outside because it was at 1 a.m. They were sound asleep and they were pulled out of their beds. Children were zip tied together, taken from their parents. It was a despicable display. And what's happening? Nothing. I mean, the priest is suing for the damages he suffered. But that's a small thing. We have to stop this behavior where they're standing on buildings. Yeah. And of course, Kristi Noem came and did a little display standing on a building, while they were shooting people. Yeah. It's just
now be fair. She stared down that guy in the chicken suit. That was. I mean, Joe, you're right. It's just something's gone wrong in your life, and you're zip tying kids. It's naked kids at 3 a.m. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's so blatantly obvious that there is no insurrection. The insurrection is when the federal government cannot fulfill its federal law enforcement. The number of people being rounded up shows that that's a lie. They are doing what they consider their job. However, they said their job was to get the worst of the worst off the street, and instead they're picking up tamale vendors. Yeah. They're picking up people going to the grocery store. They're picking up people who have committed no crime, who are here many times. They picked up one person and fined him $150 because he wasn't carrying his green card with him. He had one. They proved that he had one, but they fined him for not. Apparently there is some law that's never been enforced before that says you must carry your papers with you at all times. And he didn't have it with him.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad people are fighting back. I love what Governor Pritzker's doing ever since you and I did Sexy Liberal Chicago with him. I've just been a huge fan, and good for him, because as I keep saying, you can model courage or cowardice, as President Obama just said. Another of and by the way, I'm glad that priest is suing. And can I do a sidebar, Counselor? He is hot. Did you see him?
Yes.
That blonde priest looks like a
Coming from
boy
you,
band.
that's really quite a statement, Stephanie.
Yes.
Right?
Just saying. Am I lying? No. All right.
No,
listen.
he's very adorable.
He really is. So 11 billion fancy titles ago, I forget now, you were what in the Army? The counsel?
I was the general counsel of the Army.
I can't believe she comes on this show. Can you?
I can.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. But I just wanted to get your take. First of all, again, speaking of acts of resistance and courage, that pretty much everybody, including Newsmax and Fox News, has told Hegseth to go pound sand on these Pentagon. I mean, I'm reading one headline after another. Pentagon staff racked by culture of fear. There's an emerging culture of fear. There's a culture of intimidation and retaliation because of who he's going to fire next. The Association of Journalists representing those who cover U.S. military accused the Pentagon of sending an unprecedented message of intimidation with its new press restrictions. So I think it's only OAN has said, yes, they'll sign this pledge. Yeah. So just wanted to get your thoughts.
Let me go back to the meeting that he called of all the top brass. Right. When you call in all of the military generals, everybody from 1-star to 4-star, and all of their top enlisted helpers, you are, one, causing a huge expenditure because this was a last-minute call. It was required flying from all over the world. It meant that all of the duty stations were unmanned. If some disaster had happened where they were supposed to be in charge, they weren't there.
Right.
Secondly, they were all in one room, making them a wonderful target for our enemies. 3, aside from the cost and the time away from their duty station, this was a lecture by Hegseth, an insulting lecture, I would say.
Yeah.
One that could have easily been delivered by Zoom. There was no reason to have them there. And the message was not a good message. And I want to point to some of the sexism, which was especially offensive to me, where he said, from now on, we have to have the highest male standards only, and it has to apply to everybody. Number one, right now, any job that is in the military, a military occupational specialty, a job category, you have to meet the criteria for that job. And that is a gender neutral description of, if you have to be a radio operator and carry a 100-pound radio, you have to be able to carry 100 pounds. Right. If you're going to operate a drone rather, you have to have good fingers. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And so I just think this was offensive and wrong.
Yeah.
And when he said, well, I don't mean to keep women out, but if that's the result, so be it. And the next day, you know what happened? The EEOC said, we're no longer going to prosecute disparate impact cases, only where it's deliberate intent to discriminate. So in the workplace now, and not just the military, but all workplaces, if the impact of a rule is to discriminate against women, too bad, and not just women, disparate impact could be on race or gender or religion. So our country is just slipping away. We're sliding, not sliding, we're just zooming backwards.
Yeah. And by the way, I just want to give everybody props, whether it's George Stephanopoulos or the thing, the companies that are pushing back on this Pentagon pledge. But the Washington Post would just fact-check Hegseth last time, said numerous falsehood here, and 1, Pentagon reporters have not roamed without badges. Credentials have long been in place. 2, journalists generally have asked for tips, not classified information. 3, journalists did not wander into classified spaces. They're closed, as you would expect. So, I mean, it's a full-time job fact-checking the lies out of this.
I'm proud that so many media have said, we will not sign this.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of our being there if we're just going to be getting your press releases, which is basically what it would have been. They'll issue what they want you to know. And one thing I learned going back to my time as general counsel is that, the generals are there permanently. We are political appointees who come in, and unless we know how to push to get the right answers, to ask the right questions and to push, we're only going to be told what they want us to know.
Right.
And that isn't how you're going to be able to exert policy changes. So it's really important that the press be allowed to ask the questions and to tell us what's going on. Think about, going back to the Pentagon Papers, which would have been in your father's time.
Yeah.
That's what we needed to know and was being kept from us.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do again.
Last question. As general counsel for the Army, were you more like Tom Cruise or Demi Moore in A Few Good Men? Did you ever have one of those,
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers?
I want the truth.
I'd like to think I was both of them.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say, a combination of both.
Yeah, I
Right,
think so.
of course, absolutely.
Only the best.
Definitely.
That's hot.
Definitely.
That's hot. Okay,
I
what
got saluted because my car would have a 4-star flag when I was in a car.
That is so
So,
cool.
Yeah. The windows would be dark and nobody would know who was in it, but they saw the 4-star flag and boy, everybody up to it.
Oh,
that's amazing.
that is so hot.
It
So
was
hot.
fun.
Oh my God,
It was
that
a
is
great job.
Yeah.
Listen, the book is Watergate Girl, the bestseller.
Yep.
Sisters-in-Law, the podcast. We love having you so much, Jill. Thanks so much.
I wanted to talk to you both, Yahweh and Yesh, because I wrote a book, and it's about you guys, but it's really about some of your fans, the mean ones, the racist ones, the homophobe ones, the ones who don't like women. You guys come off really well in the book. Jesus, you come off really good in this book.
Yeah, I've heard that when people talk about the Bible, they tell me that God, you come off really well.
Said no one ever.
Jesus comes off really well. Yeah, no, God, you're very impressive, God. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but you there's some moments, Almighty, where you're kind of the alcoholic stepgod. You know, if you know what I'm saying. But Jesus, he's chill throughout. Like he's proof of evolution.
But John, people have been twisting my message, right? And that's what this book is about.
It really is, Jesus. I mean, I've gone through this book of yours many times. You never said anything against the gays. You never said anything against women having to be forced to be pregnant. I mean, you're not against abortion. You're against the death penalty, Jesus. I know that. You're like your dad in that you tell us to welcome the stranger.
Yeah. I mean, the right people are twisting my message left and right, and we can't take it anymore. So we're so excited to have this book, a really rock-solid resource to show people what the Bible actually says. And that's why we love you, John. You're spreading our true good word.
Simon & Schuster's Avid Reader Press presents Separation of Church and Hate, the bold, hilarious new book from John Fugelsang.